welcome everybody to the greatest show where I get to show off the greatest people and have way too much fun doing it. So today's amazing guest is Alan Slagorsky. Thank you, Alan, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
And okay, so first I want to kind of out you on something that I've noticed about you that is fantastic. Yeah. And I don't know if everyone knows this. So the more time we've spent together, I've noticed a huge joy you have for men's fashion, for aesthetics, for beautiful items in your life. And you've kind of been creating this life where that's been, it seems like not only a demand in your world, but it's like there's no other option. It's like, it's either gorgeous and contributes to you or it's just not going to happen. So I would love today to talk to you about, that. Yeah. Talk to you about how that is in your life now, but also, I guess my first question is, have you always been like that?
I would just like to say that this show, I'm not sure, I think you like, so it's called The Greatest Show, and I'm on it, and that's fantastic. You might have to change the name.
You're great.
The next guest, though. I'm just saying. I don't want to set the bar like too high. But anyways, it's funny you ask that because no, it has not. And that is something that I have picked up through committing to my life and through that sort of like committing to being and using the tools of access, if you will. In the last, so I've known about access for like a couple of years, and I've dibbled and dabbled and used the tools sometimes and then not, and then, chosen other stuff, and always sort of like you're not brought up in this world to like strive for fucking like luxury and greatness and owning a castle in Italy. You know what I mean? Like you're sort of like brought up, the majority of families, like I was brought up sort of like middle class, upper middle class Canadian, I guess you could say. My dad had a good job. I had an older brother and sister. My mom was home for us, so very good relationship with them. But even so, like I was not brought up to seek that luxury and that greatness. I love that word. You're sort of brought up to be safe. And since I've discovered that there is a greatness possible, like not to sound rude, but it's sort of like mediocrity. Like so everyone's sort of brought up in this world to be safe, but it really translates to mediocrity kind of, because it's like, get a safe education, get a job, like start a family, have a house, whatever you want, whatever that looks like for your parents or whoever was sort of like bringing you up with that in this world. That's sort of what it looks like. And I had that, and it was great. And I got a lot of that from my upbringing. So I was already like pretty good, and that was good. And I felt safe. And at the same time, the more I went through that, like the more I noticed that I was bored. Like when I finished paramedic school, I was already like, I didn't even work full time as a medic ever, because I was already like, I finished school in the spring, I think. And then I was already like, okay, well, maybe I could start university in the fall to like start getting an undergrad in science to apply for med school to become a doctor. Like I was, and all my classmates were like applying for full-time jobs and so excited. And that's not wrong. Like that's great for them. But I was sort of like, I didn't get that was actually a greatness and a strength of me. I was like, kind of like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I actually just be happy working as a paramedic in Calgary and doing that? Because I was already working part-time. So I had that and I was getting the experience. And I was like, yeah, cool. But I was like, yeah, cool. And what else, right?
But you had the same job.
I know, exactly. So like, this is my point. Like, you're brought up to seek those things, but nothing really more than that.
Yeah.
But that's what I've sort of started to learn, the tools of access and being in the community with more access facilitators, and also seeing what the co-founder and founder of Access Consciousness are choosing for the future and in their own life has shown me that this greatness is possible. And it's not choosing greatness from a pretentious, like, oh, I'm so much greater than you. I can wear these suits. It's actually like because it brings you joy. And that's the biggest thing. Is like all of this stuff has taught me, like what you said, it's either like elegance and wonderful in my life, or it's like junk and not happening. It's like kind of like, what do you, if it doesn't, if anything you're choosing and doing and being in your life right now is not fun for you and it's not bringing you joy, then like why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And I understand some people are in jobs that they don't really like, and like you might not want to quit tomorrow. Hearing me say that, like that's not also what I'm getting at. But what you can start to do is you can start to ask for more of that joyful energy, and you can actually make a list. So what I did is I made a list of things that do bring me joy. That's where I really started, and I was like, okay, cool. I like, that list was everything from singing to talking with interesting people, to hanging out, like, and going on adventures with my son, to having evenings on my own where I get to like dress up a little bit and not worry about, getting chocolate or like French fry grease all over my clothes. Even I love you, Charlie, but that's a side effect of being a parent
Yeah.
to a 4-year-old. So it's like that list was all inclusive. And that's the beauty of all of this, is like there's no limitation. There's not like you can choose, elegant antique furniture, but you're not allowed to choose the other stuff. There's no definition. And so when I saw that all, like in Access, joy and fun was actually made a priority in people's lives, and they were encouraging people to choose that. And then as a result of that, people's businesses and lives were actually becoming more fulfilling and more fun. And it's sort of this synergistic effect. And so I saw that from afar for a while, and then I went through some fun trauma that I fully admit to creating in 2019, basically. And then, honestly, 2020 has been an interesting year with business and COVID and like everything. But I have to say that it's been the best year of my life, because I really committed in January. I didn't really mean for that to happen. It's just looking back on it, it really started, like I really started changing and creating this in January. So your question, was I brought up like this? No. And when did it start? Is basically 6 months ago. And before that, there was a little bit, like I would go and buy something nice or have something nice in my life, and I would appreciate it, but I didn't see the value of it. And so when you see the value of something, you can actually receive from it, whether it's a piece of furniture or a person. And then when you receive from it, it allows it to contribute to your life, and then your life can grow from that. So this is what I started discovering. And so the last, since January, it's like, okay, where would I like to live? That was a good first thing. Like, I would like a bit of a bigger place. I was asking for a little bit more space. And then so I created this place where I'm in currently. And so it just sort of happened like that. And the biggest thing for me, though, is like choose things that are that are fun for you to do, and start getting the energy of those. And if you can't like buy that thing or have it right now, start asking for it, and say like, what would it take to create this? And I'm already, like, I was out at a different park with Charlie the other day, and we walked past a person's house that they had a big trampoline in their backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a trampoline when I was younger, and it was awesome. And so Charlie was looking at it, and he wanted to go and play on it. And I was like, that's awesome. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, my next ask, because my current townhouse now, it has a back patio, but there's no backyard for a trampoline. So I'm really, really happy with my space now. And at the same time, I'm like, what would it take to create that? And that's my next ask. So my next ask already for a place to live that has a garage and it has a backyard to have a trampoline for Charlie. And that's it. There's no expectation with like bedrooms and where it needs to be and all of that. And that's what allows the universe the freedom to actually create that for you. Because when I found this place, I literally was asking for, I don't even remember, but it was, I think it was like in a neighborhood that I liked that was outside of downtown. And then it was like near a park for a playground for my son. And then it was a bit bigger and had maybe some, bedroom space and living room space because my other flat was quite small. So that's it, and it's better to not get specific. And that's really how I have added these items of luxury in my world. And I just actually bought some refinished antique bedside tables that have this cool, like modern, like base of legs. It's called the Eiffel Tower, the base, and so they're kind of like wiry pieces of metal like that. And so I'm paying $200 every week, and then it's not a big purchase, but when you go to these places, so anything is possible, right? Like I didn't have thousands of dollars to go to this shop and put it on the table and be like, yo, these bedside tables are mine. They're going to create more. But it's interesting because I moved my bed in my bedroom, and as soon as I moved it to the other side, I thought of those two bedside tables. It was like the weirdest thing because it was a post on Instagram from weeks ago. And I had like, don't think about that often. And as soon as I moved my bed, I thought about it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you, universe. Like it felt really cool to inquire about them. And so I did. And she was really keen to facilitate me having them with this easy payment plan. And it's all good. And that's adding. So I was really following the energy with that, or following what was bringing me joy and what was fun, because I had that picture of my bedroom with those, and it like made me smile like it is now. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, let's actualize that. What's it going to take?
So Alan,
and that's,
go ahead. It's
really that simple. That's all. It was just like, it's not like, the biggest thing for me is you don't need thousands of dollars, because often when people think of luxury and elegance and stuff, they associate that with having lots of money, and that's not wrong, but you can actually create and actualize those things without having a lot of money currently, and you can use those things to create more wealth in your world, and that's sort of where you start. And in case you didn't realize, everyone who you see in Access and otherwise started where you and I are right now. They weren't born with millions of dollars or thousands. They didn't receive a check magically and all of a sudden created this wealth and this elegant lifestyle and whatever else is in their life. Like, they all started like this, and it's as easy as just asking a question like, what would it take? And you see something on a post, or something that lights you up, because it's different when you see something that's elegant and luxury and you're like, oh, I want that. But like, it's a huge yacht and you're like, I would love to live on that. Like, how is that really in your reality right now? Like, how does that really, like, is that really congruent with you?
Okay, so this is actually part of what my question. So
yeah.
I know people, I've seen a lot of transformations, and you've probably seen them too. People that like had, their hair was down to here, like even men, like not cut, like maybe burly facial hair. And then suddenly they start to like care about what they're dressing, like they start to change and alter. But often I'm seeing them like mimicking someone else. And they're like, I'm going to do this right. And they'll wear clothes that maybe don't have this sense of congruency with the way their body would like to look, or the hairstyle or whatever. But something cool also, another acknowledgement of you, is that I've noticed when you like, even like the clothing that you wear, the things that you choose, they all have a sense of congruency with you. So what could you share with people? How does that work for you? And maybe like, how did it start, and how are you with it now?
Like, how do I create that and have that congruency
did
with
you
the
know
stuff?
were you like, oh, this is like, so I'm going to change and I know exactly what I want everything to look like? Or was it like a journey of like
It was totally a journey, and I have to admit, like, I did try to mimic people, characters, things to a certain degree, and I think using them for inspiration is different than trying to mimic their exact life and appearance, because if you get the energy of something or somebody and some clothing or whatever that they're wearing that you like, you see the value of that and you use it to create something similar in your own life, that will create things that are congruent for you, and you will see the transformation in your life. Whereas if you try to copy that person, like somebody like me observing will see this person dressing differently or having, expensive houses or whatever it is, but their actual like being or attitude or personality like won't change. So that's the difference. Like they'll be wearing a $3,000 suit or something because last week they were wearing cargo shorts, but like they'll be the same person because it's not congruent for them and they're just trying to copy somebody else. And appearance is not who you are. Like wearing things and having things in your life contributes to you and your life and like you choosing more of who you are. It's not like a mask that you can just cover up and be somebody,
Well
like
said.
I can't just dress up like somebody who I look up to or I think is well dressed and then I'll be totally different or successful at business or have a different personality and be easy to talk to if I was really standoffish before, So that's how. And then the other thing, this cool thing with the new pants I'm wearing actually right now is I just don't have like a point of view about it. Like I went to this shop like with my son to get something completely different, and I walked right into the men's place, and I don't even like I wasn't there to shop for my own self, and I went there and there was some sale racks and there was these purple pants that I'm now wearing that are from a brand I really like.
We all want to see your purple pants now.
No, I'll send you a picture after. They're too. I don't want to scare away your fans. They're so perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
But what they were on sale, like marked down twice, and they were from a brand I really like, and they were my size, and like that never happens. Wow. But like I had when I went into the store, I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go buy some pants. I really need some fucking pants. Let's get some pants. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna go here. I was actually like went in there to look at pillows, and I never even like went. But it doesn't matter, right? The point is that I just like I wasn't thinking, and I like randomly walked in there, and I was just wandering around with Charlie, and I just like found these, and they just like stood out right there on the rack, and then I tried them on, and they were great. So when you don't have like projections or expectations, especially like first of all, projections and expectations about what it is you would like to add to your life, but then what those things will bring you. So like what is it going to create for you, or what is your life going to look like if you do change your dress or you do change your furniture and you have those different things that are more expensive or you like better? Like those things, like I said, they add to your life, they contribute to your life, they don't make your life. You can still be a douchebag in a $3,000 suit. Yeah. Most people are that wear the suits. That's probably why you noticed something different about me, because like I'm not a douchebag, and it's like, oh, that's cool because he's wearing some nice clothes. So like it adds to my life, but it starts with me. It starts with who you are. So these things are really to contribute to you. And it all comes back to if it brings you joy. And you saw, like, I was just talking about something simple like pants. And they like made me, like, I got so excited about telling you that story. Like, it doesn't have to be $1,000 furniture. It can be, but the money doesn't really matter. It's the energy that it brings to your life, because now I'm really excited to wear them. Like, they change, I was wearing them today. I went to meet somebody for a coffee, and it's just like, it brings joy to me. And like, I feel confident, like more fun, like more professional, like all of those things. So you need to like ask the universe or ask yourself what brings you joy or what could contribute to your life, because for you that could be a chair in your living room, or it could be a dog, or it could be anything. But you need to start with that question, because if you just start buying stuff and like hoping that one of them will contribute to you, that won't work. It might if you get lucky, but like, I don't know, your bank account probably won't like that. Like that strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so that I just got a new couch recently.
Oh, and,
yeah. And so as I was looking at furniture, my first tendency was to go with things that I had seen almost like back in the day. So for those of you that don't know, I I didn't really create my home to be anything more than a closet to dump my stuff, because I was traveling the world and I didn't care about my home. And now, since COVID and being home for a lot, I started to realize that there was a huge aspect of my life that I wasn't nurturing and I wasn't creating in. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a new couch. This is one of the biggest things that I like to change. So I almost went to the reference of who I used to be and the type of furniture I would have loved. And I was like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. But there was that incongruence that you talked about. And it was so interesting. So the couch that I ended up purchasing is something that old me never would have even dreamed of having. Like, it was not even on my radar of like the elegance of it, the beauty of it. And everything. I love everything you said about the lacking of expectation, because I didn't know what it was going to change. I just knew it was going to change. And it's every day changing so much and
Cool.
so much joy in my life. So can you talk, so some people that maybe it's really new to them to like think that an item could give them joy. Like, I remember when you got your new shoes, and you maybe don't remember, but you were like, so it was like a childlike joy, like these new shoes in your life. And which is part of what inspired me wanting to talk to you about this topic, is there's such a level of receiving that you have with these beautiful items. And so can you share with people maybe that are like new on this journey, what can they start to like look at or institute to start to get there and start to receive that joy? And
I think it starts with slowing down and asking a question, or like really, like not buy, like I said, not buying stuff in the hope that it will contribute, or like concluding that it will, but stopping and asking, and then also not making money significant. So like these things that we're talking about, they're not $1,000 purchases, but they can contribute as much as you're willing to receive. So I also had no expectation about what it would. I was just excited. So that it starts with that joy, right?
you just said something so brilliant.
Excitement.
I think we need to quote it.
Okay, gonna meme it. Meme.
Yeah, meme.
Meme.
Well, you said it will contribute as much as you're willing to receive. Like, that's pretty simple, but pretty.
Yeah.
Like,
so people and like things or material things will contribute to you as much as you're willing to receive. It's your points of view and your barriers that prevent that, and your conclusions. So I didn't have any expectation about what those shoes would create. I was just like, I was looking for shoes for a while, and then I ordered them. And when they came, I think you're talking about my black boots.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was really excited when they arrived, and I also was just excited to try them on. Like, I hadn't gone to the future about like, oh, I'm going to get a good job because I'm going to wear these, or I'm going to look really good. Or like, I was excited to try them with my clothes because I thought they would contribute to the things I had already. But I didn't go into it being like, this is awesome and this is going to create, or I'm going to be more powerful, better, more handsome, good looking, attractive, like whatever you're striving for or have concluded. So I would say the first thing is to just stop. So take money out of the equation and just stop, and then see, like, slow down and ask the question, because it's not the cheapest thing and it's not the most expensive thing that will contribute. Like, this is not a linear thing, and it's very different from how we are like trained or shown how to be in this world. Like, from my side, I was brought up to buy practical things. Like, so for instance, my parents will spend $500 on a jacket that is like a really nice raincoat for the hiking, but they would not ever dream of spending $500 on like a piece of silver or something that does not have the same practical like use. And so that's really something that I watched, and I was like, oh, interesting. So it's not about the money, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not about how expensive or cheap it is. It's just like, will it contribute to your life? And for my parents, they've decided that coat will contribute to their life, and maybe it will. I don't know. I'm not in their head, but it's just an example, right? So slow down, and maybe buying a cup of coffee, like, who will you meet at the coffee shop? Maybe that is that will contribute to your life. But it's the step back about asking. So like, cool. And I love these questions. Like if this is sort of like new for you, start with the question like, hey, cool, if I choose this, and ask these questions with like kind of like a childlike wonder in your world, like really be open to having either answer. Because if you've concluded already that you want a cup of coffee, don't bother asking this question, right? just go
have your
the
coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah, just go to your coffee.
Yeah, it's not gonna like it's fine. But if you're wondering about, if you should buy something or if you should, like me with those bedside tables, for instance, I said, cool, like it lit me up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting because, that was from weeks ago. I was like, cool. Like, but immediately I got the energy of like what having those tables in my bedroom was like. And it was more exciting or more contributory or lighter or however is easiest for you to understand that. And so then I followed it. But if I had thought about those tables and it was like, I don't really like, meh, whatever, then I would have just moved on and I wouldn't have even bothered, right? So it's about stopping and asking those questions and then following it, because this could change also. Like I could have gone to those tables and then she could have been like, they're $2,000 each. And I could have been like, okay, cool. And then you ask another question. Because if it's still light, I could have done a payment plan. Like right? It's not a big deal. It would have taken probably longer, but it's about stopping and asking the question. Or I could have concluded that, oh, they're too expensive, and then you leave. Because this stuff, you can't understand it with your mind. So that's why you really have to ask these questions with a childlike wonder and be like, okay, cool. If I buy this, like, will it contribute more to my life? Or what will it contribute to my life? And then you'll sort of get, if it feels like lighter and more fun and you get excited when you think about it, like my pants, my shoes, etc., then that's something that you could maybe follow up on. Not necessarily buy right then and there, but follow up on it or ask some more questions. And if that's still kind of like weird and you don't really get it, try asking, what will this choice create in 5 years? Because you can't figure out with your logical mind, like what this quote small choice or whatever it is you're thinking about will create for you in 5 years. But it's like, then you can really start to be more aware of the energies. And you can even just play with it. Like, I mean, you could not even buy the stuff, but just practice using these questions. So you can go, well, will this choice create in 5 years? Will this choice create in 10 years? And I use these questions when I'm buying, like, so for example, like silver, like things that are going to be with me for a while that are usually you purchase them because they grow in value. So things like that, things like art, those are really good questions to use, because those things are a bit more expensive, but they're also going to be with you for a while. So then you want to ask those questions in real, be in wonder and be willing to be like, okay, no, that purchase is not for me. Cool. Because there's always something new. There's always another piece of silver. There's always another artwork, piece of art. There's always another pair of shoes. So like, this is not the only thing that will ever contribute to your life. So that also has helped me, because a lot of the time, like now that I have more income, I tended to just like choose it right away, like jump. It's like, okay, cool, that's light, slow down, like let's not jump in here, like let's take a look. And I will just share something that's not completely related, but when you are willing to take a step back like that, I recently was looking at changing my website to Kajabi, which is a monthly payment and it's a bit more expensive. And so I was on a free trial and they were going to charge me, after the 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And it felt really good for my business. Like it felt like I was going, like that was the right direction. But then I like kind of slowed down and looked at my finances and I was like, okay, so this move does not have to be done tomorrow. Like there's really no rush. And so I really looked at it and I was like, this will kind of put me in a financial, like it will stress me out a bit more. And so I actually chose to cancel the trial and to choose Kajabi later. And then 2 days later, the Kajabi folks emailed me and offered me a free trial for 2 months. So I know, right? How awesome is that? So
That's
it's like,
so good.
when you're willing to slow down and ask a question, and also you're willing to like be true to you and say no, even though I knew like I'm gonna choose Kajabi probably like in 2 months. That was like actually the time frame I was looking at.
Of course, yeah.
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 And so I was willing to be like, no, this is not for me right now because it will put me in a financial bind. And I also would not have chosen those side tables like if it would have put more stress, because what would I like to have more of in my life? Joy and fun. What is the opposite of that? Like financial stress, right?
Yeah.
So it all like it comes back to that, but you willing to be present with like your finances and your whole life and be willing to choose or not for your future is where is the difference, and it's where people should start if they're wondering.
I love that. That was amazing.
Thank you.
It's time to play our game.
Are we having our word game? Oh my
We're having our word game. Yeah.
Okay.
So those of you that are new to the show, we like to end the show on a little game so we can have fun with you. I'm trying not to peek at your...
Don't peek at my words.
I'm not going to peek at your words.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm just going to describe how this game works. So we each are getting 7 random words text to us. And our target is to infuse these words into our conversation as naturally as possible. And I'm going to read my words. Oh, shit.
No. Don't read them out loud.
No, I'm not going to read. No, I'm reading them in my head.
Okay, cool.
Wow, this is awesome.
Hey, I just got to ask you, like, how heavy are your earrings? It feels like your earlobes are like gonna like are they really heavy?
They're so heavy. Like I feel like I have to be like Hulk Hogan to wear these.
Oh my
earrings.
Goodness. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, yeah. I could probably use like a glass of moonshine right now just to get through it. Yeah.
Well, you could maybe go skinny dipping in the creek by your house after you have the moonshine. You'll probably be like pretty confident. So you could just go for it. You probably won't even notice anybody watching you if you have moonshine right now.
I could do that. I mean, but then, that often leads to dirty dancing and tubas. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, if you start going down dirty dancing, who knows what will happen, and you definitely won't be invited to high tea. So that's very like proper, no moonshine, no dirty dancing. It's very, very, very,
Yeah, it won't get.
We have tea.
Yeah, tea. Yeah, I mean, I remember actually going to high tea once, and they asked us to have to wear leather.
Whoa, where did you go? Did you guys like practice yoga after too and do downward dog?
No, it was just
because anything's possible. If people ask you to wear leather to high tea, you never know what's next, right?
Yeah, we had high tea, we wore leather, and then they got out the glue sticks, goodness. And it was just craft time. So
were you smelling them?
Yeah, it was right before this, actually.
Or putting them in your nose, like my son Charlie does at preschool. Well, they watch it. Well, I don't know. Probably, I know his friend. I know his friend Henry did because he was talking about smells like glue for something up his nose. So that was interesting. And then they probably finished their crafts and watched Dora the Explorer or something like that. Yeah. It's like they don't even notice. They're just like, oh yeah, glue, sniff, craft, eat it. Cool. Dora the Explorer. Let's go.
My favorite Dora the Explorer episode is the one with the masquerade ball. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I actually haven't seen any Dora the Explorer. So I wouldn't know.
No. All right.
No.
Do you even know if I was lying?
No, but I think you probably were, because why would they have a masquerade ball with Dora the Explorer?
Because they were celebrating. And
if they have a masquerade ball,
Halloween.
they might as well have a whole episode with like a pink fairy armadillo. I mean, like, any, like, what's...
Well, that actually sounds like a good episode. Maybe we should write it and we should send it in.
I would watch it.
And then they'll have some kind of, they'll sing Spanish songs. It'd be great. I rocked my list. I don't know if you still have list items left, but like, I'm super proud of myself right now.
I do, and I'm laughing so hard I need a sippy cup for my drinks here. So
get that sippy cup.
Yeah, that was my last word.
Well, thank you, Alan.
Thank you. That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was fun. You're good at this. I'm grateful for you. And we'll put information, links below if anyone wants to reach out to you, talk to you, join classes with you or whatever. Alan's available for all sorts of things. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much. All right. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Bye. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh.
I wonder if I spelled your last name right.
Alan SL something. It'll be good. Oh my goodness, your hair. Love it.
Love it?
Stop it. Yeah. Is it gonna be a three-way?
No.
But I do have pants on. I did put pants on. Even though it's like, how many views do you want? Right?
All the views. All the views.
Like, well, like I could, like, throughout the show, maybe I could just.
Oh yeah. Like it's just getting so kind of hot in here.
Yeah, and then like when we start playing the word game, when you get one of the words, I could be like, oh, jeez, okay. Like, no.
Zoom's having
Is she
a
coming?
conversation with me.
Is she coming on our thing? I was like, Cass is gonna like it when I go on. You were gonna surprise me with a threesome? Oh my!
You're welcome. It's your birthday.
Okay, they're like playing hardball. Okay, sounds good. Okay, Here we go.
Here we go. I want to go now. We have 10 minutes.
Can we start or no? Probably not.
I guess we could.
We should maybe start.
We could be rebels.
Don't worry, I got it.
Okay. All right. Should we go? Should we wait?
Sure. Yeah. It's whatever. It's your show. It's your show. You know when you want to broadcast your pink hair to the world. So it's up to you.
Oh, you did get a threesome. I'll be a good girl.
No, Cass, don't fucking peek. I'm gonna take the threesome away if you peek.
No threesome for you.
No threesome for you. Don't fucking peek. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait any longer.
Let's just go.
Boom.
This is better. We're up and down now.
Do you like it like this?
Yeah, I like being up and down more because then it looks like I'm looking at the camera, or else I'm looking on the side all the time.
Okay. It also looks like you're on top. Oh, that is good.
But it's probably back to front actually on there. Is it back to front too?
Are you? Yeah. Well, you're on top for me.
Good.
So I don't know what that means.
It means I'm the boss.
Is your hair fixed and perfect?
It's not perfect, but it's fine.
Shitty.
Yeah.
What's that one doing? There we go.
Exactly.
It needs to be put in line. There, that's better. Yeah. It was like fucking coming over to the right. It's like, no. It's like, no. The fuck do you think this is?
You think this
isn't a free-for-all. It's fucking line. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's go. I want to hear your intro.
My opening? Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna interrupt it at all.
You can interrupt it.
I won't. Nope. I won't.
I won't believe you.
Okay.
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 Okay. All right, we are live. So welcome everybody to the greatest show where I get to show off.